It's a good day to have a good day. Hello, everybody. My name's Ceci Rey. Thanks for joining me here at Break the Dish, where we break the news and dish out the tea. My breakers, my breakers, my breakers. Let's have a little chat, shall we? That's right. Let's dish some tea today. So I want to start with the OGs of Real Housewives of New York City. I'm very excited. They have made the official announcement, and it's not with Bravo, people. It is with E. So, what's the company? Verdant? Is that how you pronounce it? Versant and E are together. Listen, I think this is going to be a major, major step with E, and I'm telling you why. In a few weeks, they're going to be having the CEO Club, a reality television show. There has been talks, like buzz going around, about a spinoff from the OGs of Below Deck. I'm not quite sure how that would go, but there's talks about that. However, I am so excited for my ladies. Listen, Bravo's missing the mark here. The fans have wanted these women back on their screen for how many years now? And Bravo didn't want to listen. And now E is like, you know what? We're going to scoop it up. And all the people that usually watch Bravo, they're going to be watching E now. That it's going to be called The Golden Life. I think they're going to be shooting 10 episodes. It is Luann de Lesseps, Sonia Morgan, Ramona Singer, Jill Zarin, and Kelly Ben-Simone. Now let's talk about these ladies. Sonia lives down in Palm Beach because that's where it's being filmed. She's there, I believe, full time. Ramona, Jill Zarin, I even believe Kelly does real estate down there. They're there at least 50% of the time. So I can see them, filming down in Palm Beach. Luann doesn't really have a connection down there. I mean, well, she does, but it's not a good one. You know what I mean? But when you think of the OGs of the Real Housewives of New York, I don't think Kelly Ben-Simone, to be quite honest. I really don't. However, I do think of Dorinda Medley. Now, there has been a rumor running around that she might be filming down there, like as a friend of, like just popping in, maybe a cameo. But listen, Luann doesn't have any connection down there either. She doesn't have a home down there. She's between Sag Harbor and New York. So why isn't Dorinda down there? Now, she is close with Radio Andy. She has a podcast on Radio Andy. But this is my theory. This is just my theory. I'm thinking there has been talks for several years now about Greystone Manor and having a show surrounding that. I'm thinking the idea is kind of like Vanderpump Villa, okay? They have filmed Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip there before. Matter of fact, last weekend, they ended the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip there. By the way, here's some tea for you. So, Tamra Judge and my girl Shannon Medore, apparently, when they were filming in OC for the girls' trip, got into it big time. And so, they were not allowed to film the ending with all the other housewives at Greystone Manor. So, whatever fight that they got into, they're going to now hold that off, continue it when the cameras go back up, and that's in a couple weeks. They start filming OC. But I think why Dorinda's not filming this is because these talks are going on for Greystone Manor, and I think it might just happen. Just saying, that's just my opinion. But E is so smart. Let me tell you, they're going to swoop up all the fans from Bravo that have been begging for these women to be on their screen, and they're going to get them over at E. Very smart move. Now, let's talk about this a second. Yesterday was Super Bowl. Jill Zarin. Jill. What have you done?
It was the worst halftime show ever. It's 250 years that we're celebrating right now in the United States. And I just don't think it was appropriate to have it in Spanish. And quite frankly, I didn't need to see him grabbing his, G area. I think it was totally inappropriate. You've got all these young kids watching the Super Bowl, and he doesn't have to be grabbing himself every 5 seconds. Is he so insecure? Seriously, I didn't understand it. I don't speak Spanish. I would have liked to have known the words he was saying. To me, it looked like a political statement because there were literally no white people in the entire thing. I think it was a political statement, and I'm not taking a side one way or the other. I just do. I think it was an ICE thing. And I just think that the NFL sold out, and it's very sad because this was 75 years. And, shame. And Lady Gaga got a facelift. I didn't recognize her. I literally had to Google her face to see who it was because we all...
No, we should not be surprised about Jill Zarin's behavior whatsoever. She was like that on The Real Housewives of New York. This is why Bravo wanted nothing to do with her. A couple years ago, when she was on Below Deck, look how she treated the staff. I think that when you don't see somebody for a long period of time, I think that you get the idea of maybe they've changed. That's not the case here, obviously, whatsoever. Jill. I think at this point, you should just smile and look pretty. Seriously. Because when you open your mouth, that's embarrassing. That's disgusting. And by the way, talking about Lady Gaga having a facelift, Jill, people in glass houses should probably not throw stones. You know what I'm saying? Just my opinion. However, the fans are in an outrage about this, and I mean a huge outrage. They have not started filming The Golden Life yet. So is this going to affect them? Is this tainting them now? Are they going to have to dismiss Jill Zarin from filming? I'm just wondering, Just wondering. Even though that post was taken down after, everybody like myself got a recording of it, it's still out there. So all this excitement for seeing these ladies back on the screen got tainted now because Jill Zarin had to open her big mouth. That's what's happened here. Moving on, we're talking about spinoffs. So Teresa Giudice and Giudice are opening a restaurant in Westwood, New Jersey. It is supposed to be opening spring of this year. I'm so looking forward to this. But I'm thinking that this is getting filmed, and I'm going to tell you why. The way Teresa announced this restaurant was really through Bravo aligned channels. Matter of fact, Gia gave a behind-the-scenes look with Bravo Daily Dish. This is what's making me think that this is being filmed. However, I don't think Teresa is the headliner here. I think it's her daughter, Gia. Bravo loves Gia, and they are so happy with her on Next Gen NYC. It's a huge success. And if they are thinking about picking up the cameras here, it would be because of Gia. Just my opinion. I'm just saying. But of course, I want them to be successful. And so we'll see. But I do think that because it was so Bravo line, the announcements, that this could be filmed. We'll see. Talking about Teresa Giudice. Let's talk about her, shall we? I know you tree huggers might get upset and offended with what I'm going to say, but just sit back and listen a second. Now, I know that there has been a lot of chatter. Is the reunion between her and her brother real? I do think it's real for the Gorgas. I think Joe and Melissa are putting their best foot forward. But I'm telling you, this woman has not changed a bit. And I'm going to tell you why. So, Teresa has a podcast called Turning the Tables, okay? And last week she had her brother, Joe Gorgo, on. And this is why I'm saying I don't think she's changed. During the podcast, she said, for instance, I'm a good sister. I've always been a good sister. Are you kidding me? I mean, who needs sisters like that? You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's rewrite history a little bit. She also was saying how, this decision was made because they have to take the kids in consideration. And not long after that, Joe was explaining how Antonia and Melania, who were the closest out of all the cousins, when they first got together, they had a real issue. It took a hot minute. Yeah, probably so. Because we've seen it on film. Teresa and Joe Giudice talking badly about Melissa consistently, talking bad about her brother consistently. And we're not just talking about one time. This is over a course of most of these children's childhood. So yeah, it probably did take a hot minute. So now you want to consider the kids, Teresa? You should have thought about that, when they were 4 years old, 5 years old, Joe says that his goal is just not to fight with the family. And I do believe him. But this is what makes me think this woman has not changed. So during the podcast, she's talking about housewives having boyfriends and they keep it a secret. And she's saying, I totally understand why they keep it a secret because the other cast members, they use them to come at them. Now think about that. Still to this day, this woman thinks that Margaret Josephs was coming at Louis when she wasn't. And no accountability for what Louis's done, by the way. The other thing is that Teresa mentions that her dad and his sister actually had made up and got along for a good 6 years. They were hanging out together. And then she says it like this, until Kathy joined the show. Now, we're talking about family here. So you're going to hold on to all these grudges, but you're going to let the grudge go against Melissa and Joe? Yeah. I don't think so. So I have a proposition, okay? I think they should pick up the cameras for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I think they should put Melissa in the cast and not cast Teresa. And let's see how long this reunion really lasts. Just saying. I question that. But now I have not really been following the Epstein files closely at all. I do know, like, this was a while ago that it was mentioned that Carol Radziwill, remember from Real Housewives of New York, she was actually friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. And I can believe that, you know, New York society, I definitely believe that. You know what I mean? But this was a shocker. So Bravo OMG, okay, posted this about Annabelle Nielsen. Now, she was a cast member from Ladies of London. Remember Annabelle? Apparently, she was named in the Epstein files for recruiting girls. Mm-hmm. Shocker. Now, I'm not going to get into this because my jaw just dropped to the floor when I saw the post. But you know, God rest her soul, she's not here anymore. She's passed on, and she can't defend herself. But what a shocker. That just makes me think that these files, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is branching out everywhere. But let's talk about Ladies of London for a second. So Real Housewives of London was filmed, and that was through Hey You, okay? Now, I could be wrong, but it's my understanding that Bravo is actually going to pick that up and show it at one point. But there's also talks, allegedly, I'll put allegedly on this, that Bravo's thinking about doing Ladies of London in a different concept, a different cast. I just really think Bravo keeps missing the mark here. I really do. They should really listen to the fans of what they want, who they want to see. You know, Carolyn Stansberry, everybody loved her. And she was on Real Housewives of Dubai, and they're on pause. So, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Bravo's really missing the mark. Married to Medicine. Let's talk about this a second. So, it's so sad to hear this, but Quad, and was her significant other's name King? They have called it quits. That kind of saddens me because I can't help but think that, you know, the pressure of trying to have a child and it not working kind of led up to this. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's not happy news. Another sad story, but I think it's going to get really messy, is in Summer House. So Amanda and Kyle Cook have officially separated. Now, listen, he has Loverboy. Allegedly, it is worth $20 million. He's in $4 million in debt. She wants nothing to do with the company, probably because she doesn't want to take that debt on. But over the years, we could see them going their separate ways. I mean, Kyle Cook is like Peter Pan. Like, he does not want to grow up. He's now DJing, so now he has a pass to stay out all night. And Amanda is really focusing on her own life. She had a bathing suit line that had come out. You could really see that their lives just have gone completely separately. I also think that this is probably the last season for Summer House. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that they had filmed, I think, in the city, which was kind of like a spinoff with everybody living in the city. I don't know how that's going to turn out um, at all. Uh, I feel like that there's like a mix here between In the City and Real Housewives of New York reboot, to be quite honest. But I don't know how that's going to turn out because I think they were still together when they were filming. Um, but you can see the cracks over the last couple of years in their relationship and that they were just going separate ways. I mean, she wanted children, and all of a sudden she didn't want children. And I mean, it's just some people, their lives just go different directions. And I think this is a perfect example. Talking about Summer House, though, we do have a match with Southern Charm, and it might not be who you're thinking of. Carl Racky and Benita. They have been seeing each other on and off for several months now, and allegedly, they went to London this week for a little getaway. I think this is a fantastic match. I think they make a great couple. They're taking it slow. They're both ready for a relationship. I really think this is a good match. I really want to see this relationship grow. Like, I'm here for it. So now let's talk about Potomac. Okay. We saw that, they had the sit down with Andy and the Grande Dame. If you missed that, I did a video on it. I was kind of disappointed, not in the interview itself. I think Andy did a great job, but I'm not quite sure she took a lot of accountability. Matter of fact, I'm not sure she did it all. Will she not be drinking anymore? We'll see. But they are getting ready to show the reunion, I think, on the 15th. So that would be this Sunday. Matter of fact, the Grande Dame is actually in the reunion. Also, I think everybody's expecting Wendy Osefo to spill the beans on everything going on. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get thank you for your love and support, and that's about it. And I think that's all she can really talk about legally, but we can talk about it here. So let's update what actually is going on with the Osefos. They are facing an ongoing fraud case, and it is huge, okay? They're currently embroiled in a significant insurance fraud case in Maryland. Prosecutors allege the couple staged a burglary at their home in April of 2024 and then filed false insurance claims totaling roughly $450,000. Just think about this last season. I mean, how much did she pay for that remodel? How much allowance does she give her mother? I wonder if her mother still gets that allowance. When they were up in Aspen and she bought those diamond earrings for her daughter's birthday, and she said, "We're not only rich, but our kids are rich too." I mean, my jaw dropped. What about yours? You know what I mean? Like, wow. They have been posting randomly like everything's fine. They have taken family vacations. And listen, I would probably take a family vacation too, to be quite honest, because I would want to spend as much time with my children as possible because I wouldn't know what the outcome was going to be. However, I wouldn't post it. You know what I mean? But getting back to the update of what's actually going on. So the judge ordered them to turn over 8 years of financial records. This happened in December of 2025. A Carroll County judge ruled against the Osefos' attempt to block prosecutors from accessing their financial history. The court ordered them to hand over 8 years of financial documents, despite the attorneys arguing the request not to. The prosecutors are claiming that they have very little money and heavy debt. They're saying they have substantial debt. This was all in the hearing in December. They had 67 credit cards. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of credit cards. And they have a pattern of excessive spending. You think? They're going to be tried together. They're going to proceed as co-defendants. And this trial is going to go on. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. They're in serious trouble, though. I mean, serious trouble. And I really think about the kids because she has young kids. Wow. That's all I can say. Trying to keep up with the Jones can be very expensive. Very expensive. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Number 1, Dorit. She's gone from this prim and proper girl to cigarette smoking, alcohol drinking, foul-mouthed, no filter woman, and I am here for it. I'm serious. I am definitely here for it. I am enjoying her on the show this season. It is like, she's really coming out and coming out strong. However, what I don't understand is why are we not talking about Erica Jane? Why are we not talking about Erica Jane? We are almost mid-season in Beverly Hills, and nothing has been mentioned about her life except she has a new boyfriend. It's almost like they did mention in the beginning that, Tom was sentenced to prison and he's probably going to die in prison. And should she visit him or not? That's your biggest worry? No, ma'am. No. Why aren't we talking about Erica Jane? Why are we not seeing her life play out in Beverly Hills? Why are we seeing like everything's roses around her life when it's not? So let's talk about the latest court dates for Erica Jane. She is looking at a lot of money. Okay, so she recently lost an appeal for an $18 million defamation case. This was with Christopher Saya, is that how you pronounce it? From Marco, the designer. He's suing Erica for allegedly implying he made nearly $800,000 in fraudulent charges on her credit card. Remember? I mean, what she put this man through. Watch the documentary. Erica attempted to use an anti-slap motion to dismiss the case, but the court denied her motion, and she lost her appeal on that denial. So now this case is moving forward. This is an $18 million case. It is moving forward. That means that the judge said, there's enough evidence, we're moving forward with trial. Now, the date has not been set yet, but it is going forward. She is also going to trial in a $25 million bankruptcy case. Now, a federal judge has set that date for February 10th, this week. And that's the trial date in the lawsuit brought by the bankruptcy trustee for Tom Girardi's former law firm, Girardi Keys. The trustee alleges that Erica received about $25 million in payments and luxury expenses from firm funds that should have gone to clients and creditors. The settlement talks, because apparently they were trying to do a settlement, collapsed. And this is why this case is going toward a full civil trial. So the trustee claims that the trustee claims fraudulent transfers. The trustee argues that Erica was unjustly enriched by money improperly diverted from the law firm and wants the court to claw back those funds. This includes payments for glam, travel, and credit card charges allegedly paid using client settlement money. Now, Erica continues to deny knowing anything about Tom Girardi's alleged misconduct. However, this is not looking good for her at all. So what happens now is that the trustee must prove that the money spent on Erica was for glam, credit cards, travel, EJ Global expenses, and it came from Girardi Keys' client funds, which were transferred to her. They have to prove that it's with intent to hinder or defraud creditors or without receiving reasonably equivalent value in return. The second part is that if Erica didn't provide legitimate value to the law firm, the transfers can be clawed back even if she had knowledge of no wrongdoing. Now, whether Erica knew or should have known that the money was illicit, the trustees do not have to prove that, okay? But they do have to argue that she lived far beyond the firm's legitimate revenue, saw signs of financial collapse, benefited from payments that were obviously unusual for a law firm. And if the judge believes she should have known, it just strengthens the trustee's case. You know what I mean? They also are questioning whether EJ Global was a legitimate business. The trustee claims that EJ Global, which was Erica's entertainment company, Erica Jane, was basically a shell used to funnel money. Now, her defense is going to be that it was a real business. She did provide services, performances, videos, all that, and that the firm paid expenses as part of a marital financial arrangement. But I don't know how this is going to play out, to be quite honest. The thing is this. Why aren't we talking about it? Why aren't we talking about the fact that she has a $25 million bankruptcy case? Why aren't we talking about that she has an $18 million lawsuit? And instead, we're just talking about a boyfriend and that Tom Girardi's got sentenced and should she visit him or not? And I also have another question too. Why isn't she divorced? Because I have a theory about this. Now, I don't really know a lot about insurance and stuff like that, but I remember Vicki Gunvalson, the queen of Kodo Insurance there, was explaining how she holds life insurance policies on her ex-husband, even though they're divorced. So if he dies, she still gets money. It makes me wonder if this is why she will not divorce him. Just say it. Because if there's like a whole bunch of life insurance policies there, could she get it? I think she could. Because it has nothing to do with Girardi Keys. It has nothing to do with any of these lawsuits. And if she's the beneficiary, and how much is it? You know what I mean? Maybe that's why she's not divorcing him. I'm just wondering, you know? I'm just saying. Just a theory. But I just want to know why we're not talking about it. Why are we not talking about Erica Jane? Why are we not talking about that there's a $25 million lawsuit? Why are we not talking about that there's an $18 million lawsuit? I mean, why aren't we talking about this? This is big in somebody's life. Huge. Huge. And it's like crickets. We are mid-season in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and there has not been one mention whatsoever. It's almost like the entire cast and Erica Jane are acting as though, okay, that was my past. I got through it, and we're moving on, and life's great, and I'm a DJ now, and I'm still in the Real Housewives, and I've got a new boyfriend. Why aren't we talking about it? I'm just saying. But there's some dishing the tea for you, my breakers. I hope you have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the tea. You know, I hope it starts getting warmer. That's what I hope for, because it's freezing. I am so tired of cold weather. I am so ready for summer. I just want to open my pool. I just want to be in the sun. I want to be at the beach. Summer can't get here fast enough. What do you think? Well, that's it. That's all the tea I have for you, my breakers. I enjoy my time with you always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because what do we do here, breakers? We break the dish.